Are you tired of feeling a sudden jolt of panic every time your foot catches on an uneven sidewalk? Are you exhausted by the constant, nagging fear that one simple trip, one tiny misstep could lead to a devastating fall that changes your life forever? Perhaps you've noticed yourself doing it lately. You wake up at 2 a.m. to use the bathroom, and instead of walking smoothly, you find yourself shuffling your feet across the carpet. You keep your hands hovering near the walls, grazing the furniture, treating your own home like an obstacle course. You catch yourself staring directly down at your shoes when you walk outside, terrified of invisible cracks in the pavement. You are not alone. And more importantly, you are not simply just getting older. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about a hidden biological culprit that is stealing your balance, and how one incredibly simple change to how you walk can restore your stability, your confidence, and quite literally save your life after the age of 60. Most doctors will tell you that falling is just a natural part of aging, caused by weak muscles or bad eyesight. But they are missing the silent thief. It is a biological mechanism I call proprioceptive fading. Proprioception is your brain's internal Wi-Fi signal. It is the invisible communication network between the 200 nerve endings in the soles of your feet and the balance center in your brain. When you were 30, this Wi-Fi signal was on high-speed broadband. Your brain knew exactly where your foot was in space without you ever having to look down. But as we cross into our 60s and 70s, this signal starts to drop. The communication becomes muffled, like a radio station drifting out of tune. Your brain literally starts to forget where your feet are. And when the brain cannot feel the ground, it panics. It forces you to shuffle. It forces you to take stiff, rigid steps. But here is the incredible news. You can reboot this Wi-Fi signal. You can turn the broadband back on. Before we dive in, please remember that I want you to be safe. Always consult your primary care doctor before starting any new movement routine, and always move slowly. Let's count down the 4 simple, highly effective steps to rebuild your balance and change the way you walk forever, starting with our first crucial habit. Number 4, the 30-second joint primer routine. If you want to walk safely, you cannot walk on cold wire. The very first thing we must address is the stiffness in your lower legs that acts like a straitjacket on your mobility. Inside your ankle joint is something called synovial fluid. Think of this fluid like motor oil in a car engine. When you sleep or when you sit in your recliner for a few hours, this fluid becomes thick, viscous, and sluggish. The nerves in your feet rely on a flexible ankle to send accurate signals up to your brain. If your ankle is stiff, the signal is blocked. Walking on cold, unlubricated ankles forces your knees and hips to compensate, throwing your center of gravity completely out of alignment and making a sideways fall incredibly likely. We are going to use a simple physical movement called the ankle alphabet. Every single morning, before you put your full weight on your feet to walk to the bathroom, sit on the edge of your bed. Let your legs dangle. Now, pretend your big toe is a pen. I want you to slowly draw the letters of the alphabet in the air with your foot. A, B, C. Do this all the way to the letter G for your right foot, and then switch to your left foot and do the same. This movement forces the synovial fluid to flood the joint, warming it up like a freshly oiled hinge. The biggest mistake people make here is moving their entire leg. They swing their knee and thigh around to draw the letter. This defeats the purpose. You must isolate the ankle. Your knee should stay perfectly still, while only the foot and ankle do the twisting, dipping, and turning. If you have severe arthritis in your ankles or drawing the letters causes sharp pain, do not force it. Instead, simply point your toes straight down toward the floor, hold for 2 seconds, and flex them up toward the ceiling. Do this gentle gas pedal motion 5 times. It will still stimulate the fluid and wake up the joint safely. If you have ever felt that terrifying moment of losing your balance, even for just a split second, hit the like button right. It helps us know we are making the right content for you. And please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below telling me, do you find yourself looking down at the ground when you walk? Let's talk about it in the comments. Number 3, the first 10 minutes, timing-based habit. Now that the joints are lubricated, we must fix the software. We must turn the Wi-Fi signal back on. To do this, we are going to implement a powerful timing-based habit. As we discussed, the soles of your feet are packed with thousands of mechanoreceptors. These tiny sensors are designed to read the texture of the earth, the grass, the dirt, the rocks, and instantly tell your brain how to balance your spine. But for decades, we have trapped our feet inside thick, rubber-soled shoes. And worse, as we get older, we start wearing thick, plush, memory foam slippers around the house. These thick soles act like sensory earplugs. They completely blindfold your feet. When your brain cannot feel the hard floor, it assumes you are walking on a cloud, and it shuts off the stabilizing muscles in your core. Here is your timing-based habit. For the very first 10 minutes of your day, you must walk on a textured surface, either completely barefoot or wearing very thin, non-slip grip socks. No thick slipper, no heavy orthotic, just your natural foot connecting with the floor. Walk from your bedroom to the kitchen. Stand on a slightly textured bath mat or a woven rug while your coffee brews. You want your feet to feel the subtle bumps and grooves of the ground. This creates a massive surge of neural electricity, sending a loud, clear signal up your spinal cord that says, "We are awake, we feel the ground, turn on the balance muscle." The biggest trap here is trying to do this on slippery hardwood or tile without grip socks. If you do not have good traction, the fear of slipping will cause you to tense your shoulders and shuffle, which ruins the exercise. If you have severe neuropathy, diabetes, or plantar fasciitis, and walking barefoot is strictly forbidden by your podiatrist, you can modify this. Sit securely in a sturdy chair. Take off your shoes and socks. Place a textured towel on the floor in front of you. While seated, use your bare toes to scrunch the towel up and then spread it back out. This still stimulates those vital nerve endings without putting your body weight at risk. Number 2, the hidden dehydration trap. You might be wondering, what does drinking water have to do with how I walk? The answer is everything. This is a secret mechanism that almost no one talks about when it comes to fall prevention. Your balance is not just controlled by your feet. It is heavily controlled by your vestibular system, a tiny, incredibly complex network of fluid-filled tubes deep inside your inner ear. Imagine these tubes are like a carpenter's level. When the fluid swishes around, tiny hairs detect the movement and tell your brain exactly where your head is in space. However, as we age, our bodies become chronically dehydrated. We lose the thirst cue. When you are dehydrated, the fluid in your inner ear literally shrinks and thickens. It stops moving fluidly. Suddenly, you turn your head, but the inner ear fluid lags behind. This creates a microsecond of dizziness, a tiny bout of vertigo, which is more than enough to make you stumble and fall. We must rehydrate the carpenter's level. Exactly 20 minutes before you plan to go for your daily walk, or before you leave the house to run errands, drink 8 ounces of room temperature water. But here is the secret. Add a tiny microscopic pinch of high-quality sea salt or Celtic salt to the water. The trace minerals in the salt act like a sponge, pulling the hydration directly into your cells and replenishing the endolymph fluid in your inner ear. The mistake most seniors make is waking up, drinking 2 large cups of black coffee, and then immediately going for a morning walk. Coffee is a mild diuretic. It flushes water out of your system, further drying out the inner ear. If you drink coffee, you must chase it with a glass of mineralized water before you start walking around the neighborhood. If you are on a strict sodium-restricted diet due to severe high blood pressure or heart issues, do not add the salt. Simply drink plain, room temperature water. Or better yet, consult your cardiologist about a doctor-approved electrolyte drop that fits within your dietary guidelines. The goal is hydration safely. We are about to reveal the absolute most important, life-saving change you can make to your physical walking stride. If you are finding this information helpful, please share this video with a friend or a loved one over 60 who might be struggling with their balance. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you never miss our health deep dive. Number 1, the heel-to-toe rolling walk. This is the single most vital physical change you can make to your daily life. This is the simple movement that can save your life. We are going to completely reprogram the mechanics of your stride. Watch a young person walk and then watch someone in their late 80s walk. What is the difference? The younger person rolls their foot. The older person shuffles. The shuffle is a trauma response. Due to weak ankles and poor nerve signals, seniors unconsciously begin lifting their feet barely a quarter inch off the ground, sliding them forward in flat, slapping motion. When you shuffle, your center of gravity remains trapped directly over your fragile hip. Worse, because your toes are not lifting, your risk of tripping over a rug, a door threshold, or a sidewalk crack skyrockets by over 80%. You are essentially dragging an anchor behind you. We have to stop the flat-footed shuffle and introduce the rolling stride. I want you to imagine the bottom of your foot is the curved runner of a rocking chair. It is not a flat board, it is a curve. When you take a step, I want you to consciously, deliberately strike the ground with your heel first, not your flat foot, your heel. As your weight shifts forward, imagine the weight smoothly rolling down the outside arch of your foot, across the ball of your foot, and finally pushing off strongly with your big toe. Heel strike, roll, big toe push off. It should sound like a rhythmic rhythm on the floor. Tap, roll, push. Tap, roll, push. This mechanism naturally forces you to lift your knee slightly higher, clearing obstacles, and it shifts your center of gravity forward into a state of continuous, controlled, fluid momentum. The most common mistake when attempting to fix a shuffle is overstriding. People try to take massive, giant steps to prove they are walking properly. Do not do this. Taking a step that is too long leaves your back leg stranded and throws you off balance. Keep your steps totally normal in length, even slightly short. The focus is entirely on the mechanics of the foot, the heel-to-toe roll, not the length of the stride. If you currently use a walker or a cane, or if you feel incredibly unsteady trying this out in the open, we must practice in a safe environment. Go to your kitchen and stand sideways next to your kitchen counter. Place one hand firmly on the countertop for total support. Now, practice the movement in slow motion. Place your right heel softly on the ground in front of you. Slowly roll the weight to the toe and lift the back foot. Practice this exaggerated rocking chair motion up and down the length of your counter. You are safely retraining the neural pathways in your brain to remember what a proper walking stride feels like. The final force multiplier, the horizon gaze. You have made it to the end, and I promised you a bonus tip, a force multiplier that will instantly double the effectiveness of everything we just talked about. If you do the ankle alphabet, if you wake up your nerves barefoot, if you hydrate your inner ear, and if you practice the heel-to-toe roll, it will all be ruined if you do this one terrible thing, looking straight down at your feet. When you are terrified of falling, your instinct is to stare directly at the ground in front of your toes to watch for obstacles. But your body follows your eyes. When you drop your chin to your chest to look down, your heavy head, which weighs about 10 to 12 pounds, pulls your center of gravity aggressively forward and down. It literally probably our body to fall face first. Furthermore, looking down turns off your peripheral vision, which your brain desperately needs to calculate spatial awareness. Your force multiplier is the horizon gaze. Starting tomorrow, when you walk, I want you to pick a spot roughly 15 to 20 feet ahead of you on the ground, or look straight ahead at eye level. Let your eyes scan the horizon. Trust your peripheral vision to see the cracks in the sidewalk. Trust your freshly awakened feet to feel the ground. Keeping your chin up and your eyes forward immediately straightens your spine, pulls your shoulders back, and centers your weight perfectly over your hip. Adopt the horizon gaze with the heel-to-toe roll, and you will not just be walking safe. You will be walking with the power, the confidence, and the freedom of someone decades younger. You do not have to live in fear of your own 2 feet. By understanding the science of your body and implementing these simple daily routines, you are taking back control of your independence. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to move slowly, be patient with your body, and celebrate every small victory. I will see you in the next video. Stay healthy and keep moving forward.